Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, there's something that we need to discuss today that I think needs to be said. So, if you want to fast forward to where we start looking at the stuff, I'll leave a timestamp here or whichever it is, because there's going to be a tiny rant. For many years, there has been a small community that has been ridiculed, that has been mocked, that has been belittled, that has been shamed, and that has been culturally appropriated by lots of other sections of society. We've been called Kojak, Baldy, Skinhead, Skinny Bald, Skinny Bum Face Head, all the different names that are inappropriate to use, although being a member of this community, I'm allowed to use those. They're not, you know, they're not bad words because I've said them. And I think this piece of content is here today for that community. If you're not part of that community, watch all of this, of course, you need to watch it. But when you're done, share this with a friend that is part of this community. Now, the community that I'm talking about is the follically challenged community, that's right. The men, the women, and any other, you know, whatever, out there that hasn't got any hair. For centuries, this small community have watched other communities walking around wearing hats to keep their head warm when they already have natural protection. That's the cultural appropriation that I'm talking about, that is just everywhere, everywhere. Everywhere. We are here today to look at beanies for the follically challenged. That's my rant over. You can see how it gets me, honestly. So that's my little rant over. But yes, we're here today to have a look at some beanies. I've got a few, you know, we need to. Stay strong, follically challenged. Right, now, as I usually do, I'll turn the camera around so that we can take a look at some more of these. But as I say, when you finish watching this, if you've got hair, you need to share this with a baldy, bum head, baldy, skinny, whatever head person. As an apology to the follically. This is reparation for the follically challenged community. Now, let's turn the camera around. Okay, now these hats are not in any particular order. The only reason that I'm showing this one, I guess, is this is the most expensive out of all of them. So this is from a British company called Thrudark. Thrudark are made up of ex-Special Forces operators, and the passion and devotion that they spent in their field of work, shall we say, certainly is passed on to the equipment that they make. Well, all of the equipment is incredibly high-end. So this hat comes in, I think it was either £50 or £55. When I first got it, as soon as I took it out, you really can feel the quality on this. It's made from Australian merino wool. It is 100% merino wool. It's a single layer with a folded rim there, and then stitched at the top. On the front, you do have the Thrudark emblem on there. I think these come in 3 different colours. There is the green, which is this one, which is like an olive drab kind of colour. There's a black version, and then there is a grey version as well. Now, the difference with this, like my nan used to say, you know, when you pick something up and it's heavy, you know it's either good quality or expensive. There's some really nice weight in this. I gave this to Mrs. Moorlander. I told her how much it was, and she kind of picked it up, and she's, do you know what, you can feel it. The quality of the wool, I probably should have looked into this more, but the quality of the wool, it just feels, I don't know, it just feels nicer. It almost feels as though it's been brushed as well. So where the wool is, it's almost like it's been fleeced slightly, whereas some of the other hats, the wool on there just feels like a very flat wool. It just feels like a cottony kind of material, whereas this has got almost like a nap to it. Again, I probably should know a little bit more about sewing. Well, I probably shouldn't, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this one is really nice, and it just absolutely oozes quality as well. Now, the Recce, when it's on, fits really well. It is a one size fits all. However, the wool in here it just fits really well. I've given this to my wife. She has a beautiful feminine shaped head. It's not too big, but you know, she calls it a pea head, and it fits her fine. It's not too big, it's not too baggy. It comes down just below my ears. As I mentioned, you know, I do have a large head. My head is a 59 to 61 centimeters. I was going to say inches then, that would be, I have a 5-foot head. But yeah, so this one fits really well, and I've got to say, when it's on, you can feel the additional quality of the wool in this. Feel the fabric of my anyway. So yeah, it just fits really well, and it just feels really well. I'm not trying to, I say there's way too much in the show. I'm not trying to blow smoke up their arse, but this is a really nice hat. I've given this to a few friends. In fact, I've showed them my selection. We've been talking about quite a lot recently about hats and stuff, and I've showed some of these to my friends, and I've just said, right, okay, rummage around all of these beanies and tell me which is a £50 beanie, and they've all pulled out the same hat, which is this one, but it just feels so nice. But yes, highly recommended. This is the Recce beanie from Thrudark. Now, the rest of the hats that we'll look at, these all fit kind of within a similar range as far as price is concerned. They kind of range from maybe say £20 all the way up to £30–35, which in dollars and euros, with the current climate, dollars and euros are roughly the same. So you're probably looking, you know, $20, €20 all the way up to $30–35 or euros. This next one is from a company that I really like. If you've been a friend of the channel for a long time, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of Helikon, and this is the Helikon Winter Merino Beanie. So this hat itself is, again, this is 100% merino wool. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. If I just bring these in, let me see if I can get these close enough. So this looks like a stereotypical beanie, whereas hopefully you'll be able to see. So again, it just looks as though if I compare these two, you can see that there is a little bit more kind of napping on that one. But getting back to this one, so 100% merino wool. The stitch on this is a little bit tighter, and as well, so this is a double layer, so you can pull these apart like that. You can't pull it all the way apart, mainly because it is stitched at the top there. So you're getting 2 layers of insulation from this, and then if I've just undone that completely. If I bring that back around, then you can see that we do have a folded rim on here as well, where you just have a really nice, very subtle Helikon logo on there. This is one size fits all. Also with the Recce beanie, this is one size fits all as well. I have a large head, and this still fits fine on there. This is also available in 2 other colours. There's also a green and a grey, and this is the black version that I have here. What you expect from Helikon is great quality and great value for money, and certainly you do get that with this. The Winter Merino Beanie. So this one is slightly smaller, I'd say. Now, it still fits, it's still on there, it still will pull down over my ears. My earlobes are a little bit down, but if I wanted to, I could bring the brim down on there. The cuff will continue to go down. I suppose if I wanted to, I could bring it even further down to make sure that everything is covered. It's all there if you need it. With this being one size fits all, it will definitely fit a large head like mine. I suppose, don't get me wrong, it's not a small hat, but I guess if you have a large bonce, then it's what you kind of expect from normal style hats. You know, it just feels a little bit small. Now I wouldn't say it is small, and I'm overgilding the lily on this one, but when it's on, the merino wool on this is incredibly soft and plush against your skin. Merino wool is antimicrobial and so many different things, so that if you're sweating a lot in this, you certainly won't get any smell. And plus, because it is a wool, it's very good at keeping the heat in. This is dual layer as well, so when you put it on, in fact having it on just for the last, what is it, 20-30 seconds, I can instantly feel that my head is generating heat and it's keeping that heat in as well. It's a very good hat, and I think, like I've said a lot, what you get from the amazing Polish people from Helikon is you get well designed garments, but you get them at great value for money as well. So this is the winter merino beanie. Now the next up on the list is the watch cap from UF Pro, who are a company from Switzerland here in Europe that are making crazy next level garments, and this is one of their beanies, so available in 2 colours. I think with this one you've got black, and then you've got the green version that I have here. This is a single layer knit, so there isn't a double layer to this, but it's also available in a few different sizes. You have small, you have medium, large and extra large. So when you go on to the website, you're able to put in the measurements for your head, and it will tell you which one of these watch caps will be perfect for you. The change with this one, there you can see I do have a large head, so on the size of heads I'm definitely not a honeydew melon, I'm more of one of those kind of ridiculous farmers markets watermelon size heads. This is 60% merino wool and then 40% poly, so you get a nice mix with this. With the difference in the two materials, it means that it's very easy to wash, especially if you're washing this a few times. The colour certainly won't fade with this, and it will certainly last you a little bit longer. Now that's not to say that the other ones that are 100% merino won't last you a long time, but you'll definitely find that you'll have less fading in colour like this with a wool poly mix. But this is really nice. As I say, you know, UF Pro here in Europe really are on top of their game, and this is another example of, you know, what they do well. The UF Pro watch cap fits incredibly nice. I'd probably say the Recce hat and the watch cap I probably go for the most. I think green tends to go with lots of different colours, whether you're wearing a blue denim jacket, whether you're wearing a black coat, or even an M65 jacket like this. It just tends to go, it's a very complementary colour with other colours. The cuff on this does come up ever so slightly higher because it's not a double layer kind of folded one, it's just this single layer. It hugs your head, but there's not a lot of inward kind of pressure on there. As I've probably said a lot, you know, I do have a large head. This one fits perfect. It comes down, it's past my earlobes. If I wanted to go a little bit further, you know, I can pull the cuff down a little bit further. Well, apologies, I'm probably looking into the monitor there a bit instead of talking to you guys, so I do apologise about that. I think the difference with this one is, I think because this is a blend of merino and poly, it does feel ever so slightly different. With the merino ones, when you put them on, I'm just trying to think. So when I was young, I hated wearing wool jumpers because they felt prickly. I don't know if that's the right word for it. The merino hats, when I put them on, don't feel prickly at all. They feel amazing. When I put this one on, it feels prickly for the first 2 or 3 minutes, and I don't know if that's the blend, I don't know if it's the hat. After that, it just goes away. So it's just a hat, you've got it on, it's a beanie, your head's nice and warm, and it's just an observation just for those first bit. Maybe that's just me, maybe that's just my head. Have I got a prickly head? I don't know, but it's still a very nice hat. And as I mentioned, you know, the Recce hat and this one are probably the ones that I go to and, you know, I just like to put on. But yeah, I think UF Pro really are on top of their game at the moment and making outdoors military garments that are just really up there. Hopefully 2023 we'll be seeing more from them. They released a parka. When was it? Roughly this time last year. I really need to get that parka. But anyway, okay, so this is this is the watch cap from UF Pro. Now this next one is from an awesome UK company called Gibraltar Trading Company, who is an ex-Royal Marines commando. He's done lots of other different things in there as well. My granddad was a Royal Marines commando, so it made absolute sense for me to pick one of these up. Certainly giving money back to the forces is something that, you know, I'm very strong with. But the one that really attracted me to this hat, so this is made from 100% man-made materials. I think it comes in a grey and black. It's the Stay Wavy, so this is their Stay Wavy beanie. It's really got that kind of 90s airwalk style, Vans, off the wall kind of look to it with the Stay Wavy hands, and it's really nice quality as well. And as I mentioned, so it is made from man-made acrylic, but you certainly don't notice any difference with this. It's incredibly warm as well, and it is also a double layered one, so it makes sure that it does keep your hands it's because I have my hand in there, but it will definitely keep your head very warm. It's that retro kind of gaiter 90s. Yeah, absolutely love this. When this was sent to me, I was talking to him, and it was the first thing that I said, that, you know, it's really got that kind of retro look to it, and they said, yeah, you know, that's kind of what inspired it. But you've got Stay Wavy on the front, and then you've got the Gibraltar Trading Company underneath there. It's a really nice hat. The Stay Wavy beanie. This is like putting on an old friend. I know, you just lost some weight, you think, I'm going to try those jeans on again. You put them on, it's like, oh. If you lived through the 80s, if you lived through the 90s, whether you were into skating or not, and you bought a beanie through those decades, I'm sure, I mean, they're not too much different to the beanies that we have today. This is a time machine. You put this on your head, and that's what it does. It takes you back to being young. One of my mantras in life is do things that make you feel young. And when I have this on, this is how I feel. And this is a really, really nice hat. Now, as far as the size is concerned, so if you wanted to, you can do your kind of old school lifting it up just a little bit. It'll keep it off your ears. Having a large head and pulling it down a little bit further, it's still just got a little bit of give in the top. But if you wanted to pull it all the way up just a little bit more and then have it down, pull that cuff down around your ears, you can certainly do that as well. With this being a dual layer hat as well, it's actually just got a nice little bit of pressure on your head. For my head, might not have it for some people that have smaller heads out there, but it just kind of just cradles your head. Yeah, I'm not gonna wax lyrical too much about this, but give Gibraltar Trading Company some love. Follow them. I'll leave all of their links. All of the hats will be, I'll leave links below, but yes, this is a really nice hat, and this is their retro Stay Wavy beanie. Now, for the people that are out there that are worried about getting their head wet but also keeping it nice and warm, you have this one from Skinz. Now, this is the roll cuff beanie. The difference with this one over the other ones is this will keep your head completely dry. So on the inside here, and if I'm just gonna rustle this here, but I'm gonna bring it up to the microphone now. You can hear it's actually got a membrane in there. So on the outside, this is 100% man-made acrylic. On the inside, it's polyester. But then on the inside, between those, there is a dry vent membrane in there. This is ridiculously warm. I mean, a lot of the other ones for here, it got down to -6 the other week, and they all still kept my head warm, and it was pleasantly warm. This thing, when you put it on, it's like having a nuclear furnace on your head. The outer section makes sure that it keeps heat trapped in, whereas the polyester inside really does help you to generate some heat in there. And as I mentioned, the dry vent membrane on the inside will make sure that it's 100% dry. It does have a rolled cuff to it as well, and you can see that the stitching, or at least the what would you call this? Again, just kind of ribbing? No, that sounded ribbed for your head pleasure. Follow your head. Anyway, moving on. You can see that it's got a nice difference between the cuff and the actual top of the cap. I think this is available in 4 different colours. There's a black, a grey, which is this one. There is like a navy blue, a light navy blue, and then I think there is there's like a Roman red kind of colour as well. But yeah, just having my hand in here, I can tell exactly just how hot this is. Now the sealskin roll cuff beanie, having this on, it's big. It is big. Now I put it on and my wife said I look like a bell end. Not necessarily because I look like a bell end, but because I look like a bell end. If you're not British, maybe you should Google that. If you are British, leave a comment. Do I look like a bell end? Maybe I should add that one to the bloopers. But anyway, because you've got quite a few different layers in here, you've got that acrylic layer, then you've got the dry vent, and then you've got the polyester fleece layer on the inside, and then you've also got the cuff that's been rolled up on this. It really is like a nuclear furnace on your head. In fact, I feel like I'm shouting more because it does just muffle a lot of the noise once this is on your ear. If you live in very cold climates, then this really should be a perfect hat for you, especially if you think that your head is going to get wet. But when you have this on, the heat that it generates is crazy. Although I do like this, and in fact Mrs. Morland wears this hat quite a bit because she's a bit nesh, which is it's an old word round here, which means kind of susceptible to the cold. But when she has this on, she loves it. It's just like a big kind of furry, warm hat that just happens to be made from animal fleece, I guess, which is all of the hats that we've seen today. But yes, so this is the cold weather rolled cuff beanie from Skinz. Now the last few, this is definitely one that you've probably seen me wearing more than any other beanie on this channel. It's certainly one that I've had the longest. Mrs. Morlander, she says she didn't, but I know she did. There's a little rant there. Threw one away, so went out straight away, bought another one, and this is the Merino beanie from Buff. Nice subtle little logo on the front. When it's on your head, it sits just off to the side over one of your eyes. But the merino wool on this is incredibly soft and really warm as well. This is another double layered one, so you can pull them apart. Obviously, you know, I'm guessing it must be ring spun. All of these double layered ones must be ring spun, slightly folded inside out. Although I'm not sure, because there is a seam down that side, so it can't be ring spun. But anyway, this is definitely the one that I've had the longest, and if I was to say the one that I like the most, if you were to say, well, you know, if you've worn it the most, you must like it the most, this really is more of a day-to-day hat that I've worn, especially going into work. Over the last 12 months I've started to wear the other hats a little bit more, but yeah, really like this. I think Buff makes some great products, especially for the follically challenged community. I'd like to hope that they are run and owned by members of the follically challenged community, just to make sure that the money stays within the community that way. But this again is 100% merino wool, and as far as colours, there's a zillion. Let's just put it that way. Buff just make billions of different colours, don't they? So yeah. Now, talking of buffs, got some other buffs here as well. Now, I say buffs, this one is a genuine buff. It's got the little Buff logo there. This one, I can't remember who gave me this one. I must have, God, trying to think, probably a dozen of these. You know, you go to a gun show and I know mechanics are there and they go, hey, here's a little net gaiter, or you go to Buff and they give you one, and you go to the Olight stall and they give you one as well. I mean, I'm mainly saying those because I have a Canix one at home, I have an Olight one as well, I have a Brooks one when I went and did a half marathon, but I use these a lot. Generally what I tend to do is I will fold them in half like that so that I've still got some venting for the top of my head. My body generally does tend to run quite warm, but when you fold them up it makes a nice hank that you can keep in your pocket. And these can be used for so many different things. When you pull it out you can see how long it actually is. So this is from Dog Tag. Can't even remember who that is, but yeah, this is from Dog Tag. But you can use it as a neck gaiter, you can use it as a well, you can pretty much use it as whatever you want, you know, that you can do so much with these. Definitely the hat that you've seen the most on this channel, so this is the Merino beanie from Buff. It's just got one of those kind of floppy beanie kind of feels to it. Definitely comes down past the ears, but will still go further, mainly because you've got that extra room here at the top, which if I'll pull up, you can see it will rise and you can do whatever you choose to want to do that, wear it to the front, wear it to the back. Generally, I tend to pull mine down so that it bunches up just a little bit behind the back. With this being, again, this is one of those dual layer merino style ones. It just hugs your head ever so slightly, which is just really nice and helps to keep that heat in. But with the dual layer merino as well, it really does stop a lot of that heat from escaping. It's quite a dense knit rather than, I suppose, maybe the looser knit of the Recce hat that we've looked at. But I guarantee you've seen this beanie more than you've seen any of those other beanies because I've just owned this the longest. And as I say, you know, I've had a few of these just because I like them that much. But yeah, this is the merino wool beanie from Buff. But with your Buff style neck gaiters, you know, these can be used for so many different things. You can put it all the way over your head so it comes down. You can pull it up, wear it in conjunction with another hat, so you can put another one over the top. Now, probably, if anything, probably wear these style hats more than I wear any other hat, because when I go for a run in the winter, I always run with a beanie on, and the main reason that I like to run with a beanie on is because it will keep my head and my ears warm. But as I mentioned, how I like to fold it like that so that I've got, I was talking away from the microphone then, but how I fold it like this so that I've still got this at the top of my head, it does allow some heat just to escape so that I don't get too hot. If I am getting too hot, then I can just pull it back a little bit more to make sure that it covers more of my head. If I'm getting if I'm not hot enough, I can pull it back. Or even if I'm getting too hot, I find that my ears help to eliminate quite a bit of heat. So just pulling up like that so that my earlobes, yeah. So they're very good hats and very inexpensive hats. And as I mentioned, as you get given these as little presents when you go and visit certain stands at certain events that you go to, you should always pick one of these up. They're very useful for that. So there you have it. There's how many is there? There was that 6 or 7. They're my beanies. Maybe I'll do some baseball cap content maybe in the summer. But again, serious point. For the Follically Challenge community out there, stay strong, brothers and sisters. Fight the good fight against the hair-headed people. Stay. Peace. Anyway, so yeah, as always do, you know, this is YouTube. If you're here and you've made it all the way to the end, I certainly want to say thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But I'll also leave all of the links below here as well so that you can see where they're all from and the manufacturers, and give them a search out on social media so that you can send them some love as well. I'll also leave my social media links here as well. But for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Can you see me okay? It's very foggy today. Love it, absolutely love it. The mist through the trees. Let's turn this round. Look at that. That is stunning, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Actually, I think I've got the sun behind me. That's probably not the best way to film, but life doesn't get better than this. Everybody should make. It shouldn't be about opportunities. I had the opportunity to go out into the woods. Like luck and life itself, you should make your own opportunities and you should get outside. Sounds a bit preachy, and it is, but getting out into the woods is good for you on so many levels. It's good for your physical health, your spiritual health, and mental health. Walking in nature like this is what life is about. There you go. That's me for the day. That's it on today's episode of Preachy Moorlander EDC. I don't pity. Pity's a bad word. I think it's unfortunate that some city folk don't get to come out. And I know a lot of cities have a lot of green areas, but nothing beats leaving a city and being in the moorlands or just being out in the countryside like this. Amazing, absolutely amazing. That was really preachy then. This is definitely going in the bloopers.